Well, hello again, all of my brothers and sisters, believers, seekers, and non believers in Christ. I'm here with another message today to kind of ask the question what you're seeing before you, would you consider that the beginning or the end? Would you say the water bottle is half full or half empty? The way you answer that question will definitely guarantee that you make the right decisions when that day comes, and that day will be coming soon. And it's like I shared with you yesterday about the revelations that I had in 2017 showing me the wedding feast of the Lamb set and ready. And I think anybody who's been to a wedding reception knows that you don't set up long in advance. You set up right before the event. And this table was set and ready. This is going to be happening, and it's going to be happening soon. Which brings me to the next question. How close to the end days do you think we really are? Would you consider the fact that we already are in the end times? Would you consider the fact that we may be in the tribulation right now? Would you also consider the fact that Revelation may be playing out right in front of us right now? Take a look at recent events that have happened here. Maybe those who haven't studied Revelation might not be aware of this, but about the mark of the beast. What exactly is the mark? And what does it say in Revelation about the mark of the beast? Well, in Revelation 13:17, this is what John was told. Thus, no one was allowed to buy or sell things unless he bore the mark of the beast, that is, his name or his number. This calls for wisdom, so let the one who has insight calculate the beast's number, for it is man's number, and his number is 666. So what exactly could be meant by that? Could that be a literal translation? Or could that be more figurative and representative? So let's take a look at recent events. What's happened around the world here within the last couple of years? And I'm being specific about the COVID pandemic. So if we take a look at the stipulations in the guidelines around the COVID pandemic, such as mandatory vaccinations, mandatory vaccine passports, digital passports, literal physical passports, that in many parts of the world and even in some parts of our United States have allowed people to either participate in basic life events or to not participate and be excluded because they lack the mark. On every vial of COVID vaccine, there is a number, and that number is on a barcode, and that barcode is expressly given to you with that vaccine. There is actually a codon in the vaccine which is traceable back to the barcode on the vial that your vaccine came from, if you were unfortunate enough to take it. So this comes to the fact that when you have taken the vaccine, you have already received a mark. But let's take that one step further, and let's say that once you take the vaccine alters your body to the point to where you are permanently marked biologically on the inside. So let's say that this messenger RNA goes in, and as all viral messenger RNAs do, they have a substrate in them called reverse transcriptase, which allows this messenger RNA to be carried into the nucleus of your cells and be plugged into your main DNA strand in the nucleus of the cells. So every time that cell replicates, it is now carrying this new mutated DNA strand. And eventually, these DNA strands, these new mutated DNA strands, will make their way into every cell in your body. Therefore, you have now been permanently marked by this vaccine. I know this is probably a really hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, and I know it when it comes down to it, it sounds almost 1950s sci-fi, and a lot of people would be in a state of denial about it. But the reality is here. The people that are involved in the design, the manufacture, the production, and the distribution of these so-called vaccines are aware of this. Dr. Robert Malone, the father of messenger RNA vaccines, has spoken out about this. But I think one of the greatest tell-alls about where this is really going is with Dr. Yuval Noah Harari, who is a close associate of Klaus Schwab of the National Economic Forum. And in his own words, he talks about the intent of the vaccine and what it's being used for. Many researchers, such as Dr. Carrie Madej, were quick to analyze the contents of these vaccine vials, and under 400 power magnification found many objects which do not belong, and upon further examination and research have proven to be electroconductive materials, along with some other questionable or unknown items that are in there. The question is, why would electroconductive materials be concealed within a vaccine? Well, Dr. Carrie Madej, about a year before she did the research on the COVID vaccines, as a business entrepreneur, had been invited to a meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, about the rollout of a digital credit, a rollout of a social credit system and a digital monetizing system tied to it. And she took this information, and later on when she figured out that with these electroconductive materials that are in the vaccine, that you can literally be linked via your smartphone or your smartwatch to the internet, and your biometrics can be monitored by some unknown entities on the other end, and a social credit score can then be assigned to you. This was to be secretly rolled out without the knowledge of the public or the knowledge of any participants which were in it. And at the time, this was a mystery to her. But like I say, as things unfolded, this all fell into place. Now let's take into consideration the fact that they want to roll out a digital currency on December 14th. Well, take all of this into account, and we could have a system like they do in China, where your very actions dictate your social credit score, and based on your credit score, then your activities, including your access to money for basic living, can then be controlled. So this is the ideal system for despots that want to control every aspect of your life. But more importantly, this is the mark of the beast. And we are seeing Revelation being played out right in front of us in real time. And I'm sorry for the people who blindly accepted the vaccine or unquestioningly went and accepted what they were told on the news or by people they trusted, including people in the ministry, that this may be a precursor to the mark of the beast, but it's not the mark of the beast. We just not have seen the full magnitude of it here in America. But we will. Let's just go back about a year ago and take a look at some of the measures that were proposed. Our current chairman, President Biden, was trying to mandate everybody to have this vaccine by one means or another, by using government agencies to enforce this through private employers on a you comply or else basis. And this has also been done to people in the military. And now there's further talk of it again. So, one basic common sense question. Why would there be such a push for a vaccine that is now 3 years out of date for a virus that no longer exists and would have mutated so far that this vaccine would provide no protection against it? And as validated by President Biden here just recently, that he was diagnosed with COVID and, quote, he had been vaccinated twice and boosted twice. injected 4 times, and he still came down with COVID. Why is that? What is the ulterior motive for getting this injection in your skin? I want you to take a close look at some short clips from Dr. Yuval Noah Harari here, and you draw your own conclusions. So now that you've heard the truth from Dr. Yuval Noah Harari himself about what this so-called vaccine really is and what their intended goal is, do you have any doubt whatsoever that this is indeed the mark of the beast? And we are now in Revelation, and we are now facing the reality that is coming forth and coming down on us. All I can say is, brothers and sisters, make sure that you make the right decision. Whether you're a believer, whether you're a seeker, or whether you're a non-believer, please take the time to search your heart, to ask God into your life to bring you the wisdom and the knowledge to know what is true. The final question is, do you believe? Because this is the ultimate truth, and this is the ultimate reality. The world we're in right now is the dream world. It's the temporary world. It's the make-believe world. Are you ready for the real world? Are you ready for eternity? Are you ready for an eternity with God? Or are you ready for an eternity in darkness? These are the things that you have to ask yourself and search very, very deeply. Again, I would like to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and please, until we speak again, do some serious praying, meditation, and soul searching.